What's going on, Pokemon TCG fans? Today I'm just going to do a little deck profile. Today's deck is going to be Mewtwo EX Y version. It's done me pretty well, taking it to regionals, taking it to a couple cities, and it's done me some justice, so let's just hop straight into it. I don't run that many Pokemon in it, so, I just want consistency in figuring out what I'm going to take out. I don't want Pokemon kind of like all over the place. I learned that mistake the hard way, so our main attacker is Mewtwo EX Y version. This guy, Psychic Infinity, does this attack does 30 more damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. It's not affected by weakness, but it still does a trick. That extra 10 really gives it that boost it needs. That with a Muscle Band or not necessarily a Fighting Fury Belt because it doesn't work, but that with Giovanni's Scheme, it really helps out. I mean, it's enough to do the trick. So, we're moving right along. Hoopa, you need him for the support, to get out all your Mewtwo's and your Shaman and your Mega Mewtwo. Trubbish and Garbodor. These two they're good for the bench. It's just a anti-Shaman lock in my eyes. It's an anti-ability lock, but the first thing I expect in any legal tournament is somebody to set up with their Shaman. So that's something I like to bring out in the beginning. Slap a Fighting Fury Belt or even a Spirit Link if necessary. It's gonna activate it, so it's good to have. Obviously, Shaman, the staple to every deck for that setup. It's pretty good to have. And yeah, that's the Pokemon. So, Psychic Infinity is, your main attacker. You obviously need your Spirit Links. 3 is necessary. 4 if you really need to, but 3 is good enough. Moving right along. Trainer's Mail, you need to speed it up. It's good. It's good to have. Your Ultra Ball. For me personally, Ultra Ball has done me better than all the other balls in the format because it's just more direct, Usually if I get an Ultra Ball, I'm really happy because in turn 1, because then I could get Hoopa out. Once I get Hoopa out, get my Shaman and my Mewtwo's out, just instant setup. So that's definitely a biggie. I used to run 2, but I realized 3 is just way better, so. Another staple, your VS Seekers. Once again, I used to run 2, but then I realized they're important, so, VS Seeker is just the way to go. That, and it complements with your Battle Compressor. Usually, I used to compress a lot of energies, but then I realized, with Mega Elixir, I could get those energies and put more than one energy a turn, so that's why I run Max Elixir, but it's better to, in my opinion, to compress your supporters like your Sycamore or your Lysander or even teammates in some cases, so you can VS Seeker them out and use them accordingly. Mega Turbo, a lot of people like to run 4 of them, but I just run 2. I've noticed haven't really gotten too many instances where I've actually used them, but they're good to have. If you don't have enough to knock out whatever Pokemon you're going up against with your Mega Mewtwo, those Mega Turbos come in the clutch. So moving right along, a lot of people question me, why Birch? Why not another Sycamore? For me personally, I know it sounds absolutely crazy, but there's some instances where I'm going through the deck so quickly, I get scared of decking out or just running out of cards that I specifically need. So sometimes Birch comes in the clutch for me because the cards go back into your deck, not necessarily in the discard pile. So 1, I think, is enough, So moving along, Professor's Letter, if I just need a quick energy grab, that's good to have. Dimension Valley. I like having 1 in just in case for damage change. Damage change is another main attack that I'd like to use with other than Psychic Infinity. It heals your Mewtwo or your Mega Mewtwo if you have Shrine of Memory, so it's good to have, you know. And if you're going on up against a non-EX, most of the times, if they attack you enough, built your HP up enough, then you could swap it out and pretty much knock them out, and then you get a free heal. So, you know, Dimension Valley is good, in my opinion. Also, it's rare, but sometimes if you build up your Garbodor, you know, Garbodor has it's a heavy energy cost, but, you know, Dimension Valley would cut that off by 1, so it's possible. And that Confusing Poison really, it does the trick when it's like you're up against the wall, you really need to do something. So that's that. Try to memory, it's just like I said, you know, it's for the damage change, you know. If you have your Mega Mewtwo out, you know, damage change could enact that, so that's good. And for me, in turn 1, I've noticed on the online version, Delinquent has really came in the clutch. You know, like, say your opponent has gone turn 1 and, you know, your turn 2 and you get to attack first and everything, they only have 3 cards left, your Delinquent's gonna wipe them out of their cards if you have Shrine or Dimension Valley out or whatever stadium you have out, you know. I mean, like, say if you have a Shrine of Memories, you put it out, use Delinquent, knock them out of their cards, you have another Shrine of Memories out, you're still golden, you know, and you knocked them out of cards, you know. Maybe he really needed that, maybe he had a rare candy or something, you know, so that's good to have. Float Stones, you know, it's good to have because, you know, you need to get out of danger sometimes, so, you know, that's pretty obvious. Super Rod, my friend recommended this to me. I didn't think much of it before, but it's definitely good if, you know, like, you got knocked out and you really need that card back, like a Shaman or a Mega Mewtwo. You could put up to a combination of, what is it, like, Pokemon or energy, like, puts it back into your deck, and then, you know, it's gonna help you out. So one's good enough. AZ, some people could run 1 or 2. I just run 1 just because of deck space, but AZ is definitely a card that I really need for that Shaman. That's pretty obvious, you know. You could pick them back up. I mean, with the VS Seekers, you could just keep swapping out this AZ back and forth. So, and then you get your Shaman, you set up a bunch of times, and it's still 1 turn. So that's definitely a good thing to have. Fighting Fury Belt, it's you know, it's a new card in Breakpoint. It's really good. There's been some instances where I've ran a lot of Fury Belts, and this time, after a lot of tests and trials, I realized that Fury Belts, you know, obviously it doesn't work for a Mega Mewtwo or any stage 1 or 2, but in certain cases where you can't get that Mega Mewtwo out, or I don't know, for some reason there's an Archeops out and you can't evolve, if you slap that Fury Belt on the Mewtwo Shatter Shot, like, it still has 210, and, you know, you could still, for me personally, I have a lot of Psychic Energies, so I could build up that Shatter Shot and still have up to as much HP as Mega Mewtwo. So, you know, he comes in, this Fury Belt comes in the clutch in certain scenarios, but I just run 1. Yeah, too many, it's not necessarily good for me, because, you know, it's not my main attacker, but it's backup. Teammates, a lot of people say it's the best card or the best supporter out there. For me, I have mixed feelings with it. I don't like to think negative, to rely on me getting knocked out, because it only works if you get knocked out. But it does come in the clutch. It comes in the clutch when needed. So, you know, Teammates is good. You know, battle compress it out. If you die, you know, you get whatever 2 cards you want. So does what it needs to do. Judge is always a good slap in the face to your opponent. It's just good to have. Sycamores is a staple. Some people run more. I think 2's fine. Giovanni Scheme, that I just recently put in, and I like it in the sense that it's a muscle band and it's draw support. I feel like I'm gonna use it more for that muscle band aspect. For me specifically, my strategy behind it is, if you have your Mega Mewtwo out and it came from from a Mewtwo and you have that Spirit Link on instead of hard evolving it, it's that little extra boost because I don't run Tool Retriever, so I can't necessarily take that Spirit Link off. So that's the little muscle band support that I have. So Zerosic, that was recommended by Glenn, my local professor here in Tampa. It's just good because it's an offensive card. A lot of people run special energies. You know, DC keys are almost another staple. That, and it's good against like your fighting decks where, you know, the strong energies are built upon so quickly. So, you know, Zerosic is I think pretty important. So, you know, and Hex Maniac, you know, sometimes I'm not gonna have the Garbodor out, so I want another avenue that I can ability lock out my opponent. So Hex Maniac is, I think, a staple for every deck. Lysander, same thing goes, you know. If anything, I should be probably running more Lysanders, but, you know, deck space is, it's, you know, it's hard. You know, there's only 60 cards, so, yeah, Lysander's important. And then I, you know, run 4 DCEs, just like everyone else, and, before I used to only run, honestly, like 6 Psychic Energies. But in this instance, I realized I needed a lot more, so I'm running 8 in this deck. So yeah, that's my deck profile. I'm still using it in the competitive field and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm gonna run it a couple more times. This whole deck is standard, so, you know, it's ready for states and stuff. So yeah, this is the deck. If you like it, let me know. If you think there's some problems or a better way to build it or run it, you know, just let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.